Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to start with the new chapter, that is context-free grammar. Ka machine, that is called as a push-down machine. Okay. So as I've told you many times that context-free grammar is a type 2 grammar of the Chomsky hierarchy, and the language is the context-free language, and the language is understood by the machine called as push-down machine. So we're going to learn about what is exactly meant by push-down machine, how it works, with the help of a single example. Okay, and next time onwards we will see few designing problems with the help of push down machine. Okay, so pay your attention properly so that you understand about the architecture and design of the push down machine, and then you can solve the problems regarding push down machine. In the exam they ask you to design this machine for 10 marks, or there can be a question to convert your CFG into PDA, or PDA to CFG. Okay, so there are three important questions which are asked in the exam, and all are for 10 marks. So minimum one question will be there in the paper, either to design a PDA push down machine for a particular problem, or you can have a CFG and convert the CFG into push down machine, or you are given a push down machine and you need to find out the corresponding context free grammar. Okay, but the most popular question is about designing a push down machine, and today I'm going to tell you about what is this machine and how it works with the help of a example. Okay, so tomorrow onwards, or next lecture onwards, we will have multiple push down machine designing problems. Okay, so now let's see. So push down machine is also called as a PDA, that is push down automata. The short form is PDA or PDM, that is push down machine or push down automata. Both are same. This push down machine is equivalent to a machine that is finite automata. We have studied finite automata already. So it is equivalent to a machine of finite automata plus stack memory. So if you add stack memory to your FSM or finite automata, you get the push down machine. Okay, so it increases the capacity of finite automata. You have done DFA and NFA designing problems. So DFA and NFA may you don't have the stack machine. So if you add the stack machine to DFA or NFA ka machine, then you get the push down machine. And there are two types of push down machines: non-deterministic push down machine and a deterministic push down machine, similar to DFA and NFA. Okay, so the power of push down automata is in between this finite automata and Turing machine. Okay, so Turing machine is the machine that is equivalent to our digital computer. Okay, so the computer can do anything like all the additions, multiplication, division, or logical reasoning operations, or any problem that you can solve by hand, or for any problem that you can have an algorithm. That problem can be solved by the digital computer, and that is meant by Turing machine. So the power of Turing machine is equal to the power of digital computer, and FA is a very basic machine. It is having a temporary memory, but there is no stack memory. And in case of push down machine, you have a stack memory added. So it adds the capacity of FA, and it is having the it is less powerful than Turing machine, but it is more powerful than finite state machine. Okay, so remember this. So this is the less powerful machine is the subset less powerful machine is a basic machine, which is this basic machine is nothing but only the mapping function. Then little power is added to that with the help of a read head, and the read head reading the symbol and going to the right. Then it is called as a finite state machine. And the language is the regular language, grammar is a regular grammar, and the grammar is also called as type 3 grammar. Power is added to FA by addition of stack is called as push down machine. The language is context free language, grammar is a context free grammar, and it is also called as type 2 grammar. And then some power is added to this PDA to solve the problems of non-deterministic nature, called as linear bounded automata or post machine. Okay, and the language it can identify is a context sensitive language or context sensitive grammar, which is of the type 1. The machine is a linear bounded automata. and then some power is added, and you get the Turing machine. Turing machine can understand recursively numerable language, and the grammar is called as unrestricted grammar. Here, recursion is also supported in case of Turing machine. So, in real world, when we solve the problems, we use recursion many times. A problem is defined with the help of itself. That is called as recursion. So, the recursion is also supported in case of Turing machine. Plus, any problem that have the algorithm, or any problem that you can solve by using paper pencil on the paper, can be solved by the machine. But in the universe, there are some problems which are not having any solution, and people are still working on that problems. So that set of problems are unsolvable problems. So such unsolvable problems will not be solved by the Turing machine. A problem which is solvable, any problem which is solvable is solved by Turing machine. So Turing machine can solve FA problems, PDA problems, LBA problems, or any other problems. But Turing machine ka problem, there is no guarantee that finite state machine will solve. Okay, so this is a relation that you will always have to remember in your mind. Now we have done with this finite state machines, regular expressions, and then we have done in our syllabus about the context free language, context free grammar. So now we are going to learn about push down machine. That is the second last chapter of your syllabus, and after this, the last chapter is about the Turing machine. And we have only the short note about linear bounded automata. It is not there in the syllabus in detail. Only one short note is asked in the exam. Okay, so we are on the second last chapter of your syllabus, that is pushdown machine, and we are starting with the new chapter today. So listen carefully how pushdown machine works. Okay, now consider this example of a DFA. Okay, so I'm saying that I have a language L that is equal to A raised to M, B raised to N, means number of A's followed by number of B's. But here there is no relation between M and N. M can be anything, B can be anything. Only they are saying that M and N both are greater than or equal to 1. So minimum length string is AB. Minimum length string is AB. So if such a problem is given to you, now you are expert in designing DFA and NFA. So what we do that we just find out the minimum length string, that is AB, and we draw the minimum length ka diagram, and then we complete the diagram by finding the missing transitions. Okay, so what I'll do for Q0, for multiple A's, it is a loop. With one single A, it will go to the state Q1, and after that any number of B's are there. Okay, so this is the FA diagram. Like A for any number of times, and for only one A, if it is there is only one A, then it will go here. So this is the NFA diagram. This diagram is the NFA diagram where I am having two outgoing transitions for A. So it is NFA diagram. Similarly, you can draw the DFA diagram also. But this is a FA diagram. Like we can have a machine which can solve this problem. That if A's are there for any number of times and then B's are there for any number of times, this is a perfect diagram for that. That will be accepted by the machine, and it will go to the final state. Okay, so here I think here this will be this is the diagram for n is equal to greater than or equal to 0, because my Q1 is the final state. Then this is correct. Or I have to add one more state. If it is greater than or equal to 1, then I have to add one more state. Okay, here I'll have to add otherwise one more state. My n is greater than or equal to 0, means number of B's are greater than or equal to 0. So minimum length string is small a. So with minimum length string, it will go to the final state. Okay, so now I have just modified a little bit. Otherwise, I'll have three states, and then this is the perfect diagram. Okay, so what I want to say you is that if there is no relation between M and N, there is no need to keep your memory, and this problem is solvable by FA. But suppose your number of A's and number of B's are same. If number of A's and number of B's are same and they are greater than or equal to 1, then we cannot design DFA or NFA for that. And we have studied pumping lemma. As per the pumping lemma, we proved that this is not a regular language. So if it is not a regular language, then it is not accepted by FA. It is a CFL, that is context free language. A raised to n, B raised to n, where n is greater than or equal to 0 or n is greater than or equal to 1 is a context free language. That we have proved it is not a regular language by using pumping lemma. Okay, so if it is a CFL, So what we do is that we can draw the parse tree, like start from the starting symbol, then you can have A generated to the left hand side and corresponding B generated to the right hand side. So one A, one B is generated. With the help of parse tree, you can visualize. Again, you are representing S in terms of S. So S is equal to ASB will say that one A generated to a corresponding B is also generated. Again, if you apply the same rule for this S, you say that for this S, A to the left hand side and B to the right hand side generated. So two A's and two B's are generated. So like this, we can keep a count. With the help of parse tree, we can visualize and we can keep a count that if there are two A's, then there are corresponding two B's are there. And to stop the recursion, we may say that S is equal to epsilon. Okay, so so this is your parse tree, and by looking at the parse tree, it is very easy to design the context-free language. So what I'll say that S is equal to ASB as a first rule, and to stop the recursion, my second rule is S is equal to AB or S is equal to epsilon. Okay, so here for n is greater than or equal to 0, it is epsilon. Otherwise, for n is greater than or equal to 1, it is small a. So I have to change this diagram, and here I can apply. I'll just delete this. Instead of epsilon, I will say that S is equal to small ab. Just a minute. So here what we are saying is that S is represented in terms of S. S is represented in terms of S, and to stop the recursion, we are saying that S is equal to AB. So at the end, we will be applying the rule to stop the recursion as S is equal to AB. Okay, so A raised to n, M B raised to n is not a regular language, but A raised to n, B raised to n is a context-free language. And for the context-free language, we can visualize the string generation with the help of a parse tree. Take a sample string here as three A's and three B's. And for three A's and three B's, this is your parse tree. There are three A's and three B's are there. And to stop the recursion, we are using S is equal to small a b. And now the CFG, so this is already done. Okay, I have taught you about this. And the designing also, by looking at the parse tree, you should be able to design it properly, context-free grammar. And context-free, these are the rules, VTPS. So make a practice and start solving the problems of context-free grammar designing for many times. Okay, you need lots of practice to design context-free grammar. And once this grammar is done, now we have the machine push-down machine. Okay, so just visualize how this machine looks like. This machine is similar to DFA or NFA. This machine has the input tape. Okay, this machine has the input tape. Input tape is a memory device which is used in older days. So we are visualizing the working of this machine with the help of the input device called as input tape. And on that, because it is difficult to visualize your hard disk or your floppy disk or the pen drive or hard drive. Okay, so to represent the mathematical model of your push down machine, we are going to visualize the memory device input tape as an input tape. Okay, so similar to this, similar to as shown in this diagram, we have this machine with the input tape. Now this input tape is, see in the red color, I'm just writing down the characteristics of this machine. So you just have to remember these points about push down machine. The first point is that the machine has the input device called as the input tape. And the input tape is an infinite input tape. So we assume that the memory available for us to work is an infinite amount of memory. So you have, there is no limit on the memory. Any big string can be stored, any string with any length can be stored. But in the real application, you will have some limitation because your input will be some limited amount of memory. Will need some limited amount of memory. Okay, so but we are assuming that we are having, there is no problem in the input memory, and we have the infinite input tape, and the tape के ऊपर we can store any input word, a word of the language. Okay, now the language is a CFL language, context free language. I'm taking the example of a raised to n, b raised to n, where a number of a's and number of b's are equal. Okay, so I'm taking this example, two a's and two b's in this diagram. So two A's and two B's are stored on this input tape. Okay, so our assumption is that we have the input device called as input tape, which is of infinite length, and on the tape by default the character called as capital B or a blank character is there. Okay, so I'm representing the blank character with the help of the capital B. Sometimes in some of the books they represent this blank character with the help of B with a vertical line. B with the vertical line as a deleted one, a slant line on B. That is also meant by a blank character on the input tape. So we are assuming we are having a blank input tape and the blank characters are there already, and we store the input of our program, input of our problem onto the input tape. So right now I'm assuming that there are two A's and two B's are there on the input tape. If I'm designing this push down machine for A raised to n, B raised to n problem, if my word I'm going to take as 3A's and 3B's, then I'm going to write 3A's and 3B's over here, and the machine should work. And well, if it is working for 3A's, 3B's or 2A's and 2B's, it should work for 100A's and 100B's also. Okay, so means it should be a generalized solution. So if your problem can solve two A's and two B's wala problem, it should be able to solve 100 A's and then 100 B's. But the question is that there are the number of A's and number of B's are same, and after A's all B's are there. Okay, so these two things are there about which are given in your language. It is given that the language is having two A's and two B's, or n number of A's and n number of B's. Okay. So have you understood the first characteristic? That is, the pushdown machine has the input device, which is an infinite input tape. By default, the character capital B means the blank character is there on the input tape. B indicates blank. Capital B indicates blank. And there are two A's and two B's. I'm taking two A's and two B's as the example right now for this particular diagram. And I'm assuming that this word is stored on this input tape. Now this word belongs to this CFL. So after processing this word, machine should reach to the final state. So here again it is similar to FA, where it will start from initial state and it will reach to the final state after processing the word belonging to this particular language. Okay, so in this machine, this is the first characteristic. Second characteristic is that similar to FA, we have this read head. We have this read head. The read head is there, and machine is initially in the state Q0. And this read head, how it works is that by default, after reading the symbol small a, it can move to the right side. Okay, so this read head can move in the right direction only. Okay, now here I'll just tell you about the difference between Turing machine and pushdown machine. In pushdown machine, this read head will continuously go to right in case of pushdown machine. But in case of Turing machine, how the power is added to that machine is that this read head is not only read, but it can perform the write operation also. So it can read as well as it can write, and it can go to left or it can go to the right. Okay, so this is about Turing machine. Turing machine mein your read head can go to left, it can go to the right, or it can remain in the same location. Plus, it can read as well as it can overwrite. But for pushdown machine, it is similar to DFA. Pushdown machine, this read head reads the symbol, and by default, after reading, it goes to right. You don't have to say that go to right. By default, it will go. Automatically, it will go to right. After read operation, automatically read head will move to the next location where it is going to read the next symbol from the input tape. And the initial state of the machine is Q0. Okay, always we assume initial state is, and it cannot perform write operation. So remember these points. Machine is in the initial state Q0. Read head can move to the right direction. After reading, by default it will go to right, and it cannot perform write operation. So these are the characteristics of your read head in the pushdown machine. Now the third characteristic is that this stack is added. Okay, here also it is infinite in on from the top. Okay. So here the initially this is the TOS, that is top of the stack. So the read head is also connected to the stack. This read head is connected to the input tape, as well as read head at the same time is connected to the stack, and it can read the stack. So using this particular pointer, it is reading the stack as well as it is also reading the input symbol. So it is reading A, at the same time it is also reading Z0 from the stack. And the stack, when the stack is empty, it is indicated that the empty symbol for the stack is Z0. And here all blanks are there. Okay, or epsilon symbol is there. Okay, so all these four locations is blank, that indicates it is epsilon symbol here. And here the top of the stack, if it is Z0, that means the stack is empty. So Z0 is the initial by default symbol of the stack, and we don't do anything about this Z0. We cannot override this Z0. Z0 will always be there to indicate the end of the stack. The stack can grow only in this direction, like the elements can be inserted on the top here. So it is only one way stack, and you can go on inserting the elements inside the stack. Okay, so this is the current top of the stack, and this is the initial state of your machine, that it is in the state Q0. Then the read head is reading the first leftmost symbol of your word, and at the same time read head is reading the top of the stack Z0, which is indicating the empty stack. And with the as it is a stack, it has three operations. So we can perform the push operation, like push the element inside the stack, or we can perform the pop operation, that is remove the element from the stack, or we can perform the no operation. So with respect to stack, this read head can perform any one of these operations. Depending on the logic, it will either push the element, or it will either remove the element, or it will do nothing with respect to the stack. But with respect to the input tape, by default, after reading the symbol, it will go to right, right, right. So it will keep on going to right after reading the symbol by default. So this way, you can visualize the working of this machine. Now, I have told you already, this Z0 is the empty stack symbol to indicate the empty condition of the stack. And top of the stack is there, which read write head currently, wherever it is pointing, is the top of the stack. So if the element is there, always the read write head will point to the top of the stack. And you can draw the transition diagram similar to FA, DFA, NFA, and we say that after for this particular string, two A's, two B's, after processing the string, machine will start from Q0 and it will reach to the final state. And if it is reaching to the final state after processing the word, we say that the string is recognized by the machine. So here the machine is acting as a recognizer, and it is going to recognize the string or acceptor. And after accepting the string, it can reach to the final state. But if it is if there are three A's and two B's, or two A's and three B's, machine will never reach to the final state. It will remain in between somewhere, or it will go into the infinite loop, or it will never reach to the final state. And if the machine is not reaching to the final state, we assume that the string is rejected by the machine. But if machine reaches to the final state, we assume that the string is accepted by the machine. Okay, so this concept is similar to DFA and NFA. And then we always visualize the working of the pushdown machine with the help of a state transition diagram similar to DFA and NFA. Okay, so I think you have understood about the 6 characteristics of pushdown machine. It is having an input tape which is infinite, and the blank symbol is there by default. We write the word which should be accepted by the machine on the tape. And there is a read head. Read head can read the input tape, as well as at the same time it can read the stack. And the initial state of the machine is Q0. So in the initial state, it is reading the leftmost symbol, as well as it is reading the empty symbol of the stack. Z0 is used to indicate the empty, is used to check whether the stack is empty. Okay, so if currently top of the stack is showing Z0, that means it is the empty stack. Nothing is there in the stack. And read write head can go to right, right, right. After reading by default, it goes to right, and the top of the stack is as the elements are pushed into the stack, the top of the stack will go on changing. And when you remove the element, then also it will change, and correspondingly it will always show the top of the stack. This pointer will always show the top of the stack, and we represent our design with the help of a transition diagram and the transition state transitions equations. Okay, so now I just want to tell you about just visualize this working of the push down machine for this particular problem. This is a formal definition of push down machine, that it is now combination of 3 plus 3 6 7 7 elements. So it is a 7 tuple, means 7 elements. So it is a group of 7 elements. Push down machine is a machine which is a group of 7 elements. The first element capital Q is similar to finite state machine, that is it is a finite set of states. Just remember right here the word finite. Okay, finite word is very important because it is a finite set. It cannot be the infinite set. So it is a finite set of states. Sigma is a finite set of input alphabet. Okay. Then delta is a transition function. Transition function is shown this way. I'll explain you this again in the end of the lecture, at the end of the lecture, so that time you will understand it properly. What is the meaning here is that machine is in the current state. After reading the symbol from a tape, which can be from sigma or which can be a blank symbol, so machine is in the current state such as Q0, reading the symbol small a from tape, and reading the symbols stack symbol maybe Z0. So there are three combinations here. To the left hand side there are three elements: current state, current symbol of the input tape, and the symbol from the stack. So combination of three can give you the next state and some operation done on the stack, and the operation can be push, pop, or no operation. So machine will transit to the new state with some operation on the stack. So this way we are going to represent our delta when we design the problem. Okay, and then Z0 is the initial empty stack symbol, Q0 is the initial state belonging to capital Q, and capital F is the set of final states. So these things are the same. Q0, capital F, delta, sigma, and capital Q is same. Only the delta equation is different. But if you remember the previous diagram, you can easily remember that this is the current state Q0 from the input tape. It can be the symbol such as small a, and this will be Z0. And machine may go to the new state. It can be a same state or new state. So it may be Q0 or Q1 with some operations such as push or pop or no operation done on the stack. Okay, so this is the mathematical equation of push down machine, and it is a definition of push down machine. Each and every problem of push down machine designing problems, there is 1 mark always there for the formal definition. 1 or 2 marks are allocated for writing the proper definition. So you need to remember the definition always. Now, I here in this diagram, I have created the animation just to show you the working of the machine. Okay, so how it will work? Initially, it is having the state Q0, and it is reading small a and Z0. After reading this, like what will be the logic to solve this problem now? So what I'll do is that I need to keep the count that how many A's are there. And then for B's, I can remember that for this B, this was the A. For this B, I can say that this is the A. So for this B, I can, so my logic will be push all A's on the stack. Push all A's on the stack, and for B's, pop the elements from the stack. So pop A. So initially, perform push operation. So both the A's will be there in the stack. And then for B's, whenever you start getting B's, remove A from stack. And when after that, when for the blank symbol, if you are getting the Z0 in the stack, then we can stop. And then we can say that the string is accepted. So here we are counting how many number of A's are there and how many B's are there. So have you understood the logic? Push all A's, and then for all B's, pop all A's from the stack. So finally, when you get B here, there should be Z0. That will be the termination condition for the machine, and it will say that it will go to the final state. Okay, so just visualize this, how this is happening. Now here with Z0 and with this small a in the state Q0, machine will perform the push operation, it will add this A here. Okay, so the machine will add A here, and now the read write head has moved to the right, and now it is reading the next A, and this A is added onto the stack, and now the top of the stack is pointing to the element A inside the stack. Now it is reading the next A. Now here there is A and there is A here. Here in the previous state, previously there was A here, there was A here, and so A with Z0 was the combination. Q0, A and Z0. So here in the transition function, you can visualize this current state is Q0. Input symbol is small a and stack symbol is Z0. So here the combination of three elements are Q0, A and Z0. If it is like that, then the next state is I'm keeping Q0 only, but it is A added onto the stack, and read head is going to read now the next number, next symbol. So now the combination is Q0 small a small a. So now in the stack there is, instead of Z0 there is a small a. Now for this combination also, this is a second a which is to be added onto the stack. So it will add it into the stack and it will move ahead. So this will be the push operation to be performed, and it will add the next a, and now it is reading the next. It is ready to read the next symbol. So these two a's are added, and now the read head is pointing to the next symbol. So here now the combination is that here B is there and on the stack A is there. So whenever now it has started receiving B, here there was a repetitive task. Like if A or Z0 hai to push, if there is A and A hai to perform the push operation. But so it has to repeat this. So it may remain in the state Q0 only. But after that it has to change the state. And now here for B, for this B, it has to remove this A. So there will be a pop operation. So for this B, it will remove the pop, it will perform the pop operation, it will remove this A and it will write it by epsilon. And now the top of the stack is changed to new location and read it has gone ahead. So these three things will, all these things will happen. Okay. This is the current state. This is the current state. Currently, it is reading B and top of the stack is small a. So it has to remove this a from the stack. That is called as a pop operation. For that, what will happen is that a is erased and now it is small b. Top of the stack is changed and read head has gone. Read head has gone to right, and now it is ready to read the next b. Again here it is b and a. So for this b also it has to remove this a. So it will do the same thing and it will replace the small a with epsilon. Top of the stack is to be changed and read head is also changed. So now read head has gone ahead and top of the stack is also changed. Now here for this B, there is a Z0. And then we say that that means number of A's are equal to number of B's. And then it will perform the no operation and it may go to the final state. Okay, so machine can stop by going to the final state or by making the stack as empty. There are two ways to halt. There are two ways to halt with except condition is that to go to the final state and stop, or delete this Z0 and by making this stack as empty stack, machine may go to the halt state. Okay, so let's see what is this push operation. Suppose the current, this is a state Q, current state, and if there is an input type by small a and Z0 here, so it may go to the new state or the same state, and here it will show you the last two symbols. Okay, so like we have added here, like here, this A is added onto the stack. So how to show that is that Q0 small a Z0 is equal to the new next state is Q0 only, but you show the last two symbols A Z0. So here this is the input type ka symbol, this is the stack ka symbol. So here in the output of the transition, we show last two symbols of stack. So last two symbols of stack are A and Z0. So we show both. That means here Z0 was there and now it is AZ0. So AZ0 means now there are Z0 पहले एक ही था symbol. Now there are two symbols AZ0. That means it is a push operation. Or if you write it, if your delta is Q0 A and A, then your next answer will be Q new double A. So because here there was A and this A is added. So now there are two A's. So here you will write two A's, A and A. But here this A Z0 है. So like here, you will write two A's here in the transition. So like this, you will have to write down all the transitions. Push down machine ka designing mein writing this delta is also very important. Drawing the diagram and writing this delta is having the equal importance. And for pop operation, how you will show the pop operation is that for this B, A is to be removed. So A is replaced with epsilon. So here you are in the current state, you are reading B from the tape and there is A. And we want to remove this A. And we are going to overwrite it by epsilon and then by default this will go here. So how to show that is that you are in the current state reading B and A, and if there is a pop operation, then it will be a new state, comma, epsilon. So this indicates, so here to the right hand side there are only two elements that will show, the next state and the stack ka contents. Okay, see here the next state and stack ka contents. So we are not showing here input tape because input tape is not going to change. We cannot change the input. Input is always read by the read head and it goes to write. So there is no change on the input. So in the transitions we show only the contents of the stack, and contents of the stack where we show last two symbols of the stack. And when you perform the pop operation, we just write down epsilon. That means this A is erased and now it is meant by it is equal to epsilon. So now this is shown here. So now for this B also it will A is deleted, which is shown by this symbol. That current state B comma A is equal to new state and epsilon. And then the automatically top of the stack is manipulated and read head is also manipulated. Now here there will be no change. Means the stack ka contents are not changed anything. And then in that case you just write down the same contents as it is. Suppose it is current state B comma A. So A is not changed. No push operation, no pop operation is indicated as new state and writing the same symbol. So it will be no operation. And for no operation, top of the stack is not going to change. Okay. So this way, this is the architecture of push down machine. So it is just revise this particular slide. What it says is that we have a push down machine M, which is a combination of 7 elements: capital Q, sigma, delta, rho. This is called as a rho. Rho indicates the stack symbol, topmost stack symbol. This is Q, sigma, delta, rho, Q0, Z0, F. And Q is a finite set of states, sigma is a finite set of input symbols on the input tape, delta is a transition function. Transition function is group of 3 elements to the left hand side. The 3 elements are current state, the symbol of the stack, symbol of the input tape, and the symbol of the stack. And then right hand side is combination of 2 elements, the new state and the operation to be performed on stack and the stack ka contents, AZ0 or epsilon or the same symbol on the stack for no operation. And then rho indicates the stack ka symbols. Okay, so this rho and sigma, they may be same or they may be different. Okay, like you have double A double B, but here you will keep on writing X and XYZ on the stack. So this is also possible. So rho is a set of symbols that you can write onto the stack. And Q0 is an initial state, Z0 is the symbol to indicate the empty stack, and capital F is a set of final states. Okay, so let's see now the problem. So here for solving this problem of 3A's and 3B's, I'm taking now 3A's and 3B's as the example. And now this is the initial state. Okay, this is the initial state of my machine. My machine is in the state Q0. So this is indicated by this delta ka 3 left hand side combination of elements. So here it is Q0, it is reading small a, and at the same time the stack ka contents are Z0. That means it is empty stack. And now we have to find out. So when we have to draw, now I'm going to teach you how to draw the transition diagram. So for the transition diagram, you know that this is the initial state Q0. So what is there in the initial state? That input tape ka symbol A and stack ka symbol Z0. So how we write the transition is that A comma Z0 slash, and after slash wherever the question marks are written over here, we have to write down what we are going to do about it. Okay. So in the transition, or when I'm writing delta, how I will write the delta as delta Q0 A Z0, means left hand side of your transition, that Q0 current state, input symbol A, and stack symbol Z0. Okay, so this is my initial state, initial condition of my machine. Now machine will start working. It will read A, it has to add the A into the stack. So what it will do? It has added this A onto the stack. With the addition of this A into the stack, top of the stack is changed and read head has gone ahead. Okay, and how this is mentioned, like this was my initial state. After reading A with Z0, what it will do? It will add A onto the stack. After adding A onto the stack at the same time, the top of the stack is changed, and now readhead is reading the next symbol, and the machine is going to remain in the same state. So how I will write this transition diagram? I draw the transition diagram. I'll say that A with Z0 agar hai, so it will become Z0 is going to become as AZ0. So this AZ0 indicates these are the two last symbols of the stack. So here I am going to show two last symbols, current last symbols from the top of the stack in the transition. So this way I will draw the transition for Q0, and it is remaining in the Q0 state because it has to repeat the process. Whenever it is reading A, it has to keep adding A onto the stack. So that's why it will remain in the same state and there will not be any state transition. Okay, and how to write this delta here? That Q0 A and Z0 is equal to, state is going to remain the same because here there is a loop, and Z0 is replaced with AZ0. That, and here if there is only one stack symbol but there are two stack symbols, that indicates it is a push operation. Okay, so the element is pushed onto the stack. Now the condition is changing. Okay, now the same rule cannot apply because same rule, ये rule में क्या लिखा है इधर, A on the input tape and Z0 on the stack. Now the situation is not the same. Here there is A here, but here also there is A. Okay, so if both are A's, then also it has to, because of this A, it has to perform the push operation. So how I will change this transition equation is that my second transition equation will be delta Q0 with A and A. Okay, so Q0 में it is reading A and here also A. So this is my delta now, second delta. So I don't know now कि A comma A है तो क्या. So here it is A comma A. On the stack A, even on the input tape A. I have to define that now. So I have to again do the push operation only. So here in the question marks, I will write the answer. And here I'll say equal and I'll complete my transition equation. So I'll say that it will remain in the same state because it has to perform the push operation. So it will remain in the state Q0 only. So it will remain in the state Q0. So for the same transition, I'm writing the second equation. That the second A is added onto the stack. यहाँ पे add हो गया अभी. Second A is added to the stack. And now read head has moved ahead, and now the top of, see, the top of the stack was this. Now on the stack here both the elements are there, and read head is now reading the third A. Okay, and my equation is complete. Q0 A comma A is equal to Q0 double A. So here I'm showing the last two symbols of the stack, that is two A's. Initially there was only one A, now there are two A's. Now for third A, so we have to check that Q0 A comma A. So Q0 A comma A equation is done. So now we don't have to do anything. It will work as per this equation. So what this equation says is that add A onto the stack because it is a push operation. So it will add. So I don't have to now again modify this diagram. Diagram में वैसे ही रहेगा diagram. So I'll show that now this A is also added, and now there are two A's instead of A. Okay, so now here the change is this B and A, but now it is reading B and A. So now it has started getting B's. Okay, so now it should not get any A after this. So that's why we have to do this state transition. So I'll say that it will go to the new state with this B. With this B, it will go to the new state, and this A is removed. A will be removed. Means for this B, we will remove one A from the stack. So I'll show it will be a pop operation. So what I'll do is that I'll say that if it is Q0 state, if it is a Q0 state, if it is reading B on the input tape and A on the stack, A is replaced with epsilon. Okay, so this was Q0 B comma A. Here I can write down directly. Here I can write down directly that B comma A is equal to Q1 comma epsilon. So here I can directly show you that uh, whenever Q0 may it is getting B and there is A onto the stack, A should be removed from the stack. That I can represent it by using this equation Q0 B comma A is equal to new state Q1 and epsilon. And in the diagram, I'll complete the diagram by drawing it here B comma A, B comma A overwritten by epsilon. And now the state transition is there and it is in the state Q1. Now in Q1, it is getting B and A. So see here in Q1 it is getting B comma A. So it will remain here only and it will remove this A. Again for this B it will remove the second B ke liye, second A it will remove. So it will be the loop and it will remain in the state Q1 and whenever it will read B it will remove the corresponding A from the stack. So for this it will remove and now this it has gone ahead and the second A is removed. Now third B ke liye you are getting third A onto the stack. Again the same thing will happen. A is replaced with epsilon and now but now it is getting in the state Q1 it is getting in the state Q1 it is getting capital B and Z0. See here it was also the state Q1 only. In Q1 there was B with A. The equation as per this equation it will remove this A from the stack. For this B it will remove for third B it will remove third A and now it will go ahead. Now it is in Q1 it is getting capital B and Z0 and then we can see that number of A's are matched with number of B's and with the help of stack we can keep a count of number of A's which is not possible in DFA. So here in Q1 whenever it is getting in Q1 if it is getting capital B with Z0 it will stop by going to the final state. Okay, now ignore this particular whatever is written here, just ignore this and yeah, here it will go to the state Q2. Okay, so it will go to Q2 and what I'm doing is that there are two ways to halt. In case especially in the books you will see which is solved, they has accepted the string, it will stop by going to the final state. And I'm saying that my final state is Q2 and there are no transitions. So once it reaches to the Q2 and it is a final state, then it will do nothing and it will halt. Okay, so my assumption of solving the problem is by going to the final state. So what it will do is that with the capital B and Z0 on the stack, Z0 will remain Z0, means no operation, and it will reach to the final state and it will remain in the final state and there are no transitions. But there is another method also. What is that another method? Is that you stop B here in the Q1 only and delete the stack Z0. So by making the stack as empty, matlab with all epsilon, after that you cannot do anything and stop it. So, but by from the visualization point of view, with respect to the diagram, I find this is the best method to follow. That you always end your solution by going to the final state. with capital B and Z0, you go to the final state and you show that this is your final state and there are no transitions in the final state and it is accepted. So by going to the final state also you can end your problem. So you follow this method because it is very clear from the transition diagram that now it is reaching to the final state and it is going to stop. Okay, so you also follow this method. This is the easy method and no confusion in this particular method. Okay, so how to show the representation of your question in the exam. So in the exam, you will have to write down for solving this problem of a raised to n, b raised to n. You will have to explain first as a first step what is meant by push down machine. So 2 marks are there for push down machine. You write down the definition of push down machine, mathematical equation for push down machine that it is a group of 7 elements, and explain the meaning of each and every element and draw the diagram and explain the working of push down machine. Okay, so this is the first step. Second step is draw the transition diagram with logic. So everyone may have different design. You have to write down your logic. So first you explain your logic, that how you are going to solve the problem. So my logic is that for all A's perform the push operation on stack. For all B's perform the pop operation from the stack. And for blank on the tape and empty on the symbol from the stack, uh, stop by or halt by going to the final state. This is my logic. So write down your logic because everyone may solve the problem in different way and there may be different solutions for a same problem. So you have to explain your logic here so that examiner whenever is checking your question paper will come to know that what is the logic that you have followed. So write the logic, then start drawing the transition diagram. Start from Q0. So I'll say that for first A is added onto the stack and it is AZ0 changed to AZ0. Z0 changed to AZ0. Then read the next A. For this A and this A is changed with double A to push operation. Again for the next A with this second A push operation. So this is going to happen for 2 times, for 3 A's. Now you will get B. So in Q0 if there is any B, then B ke liye remove A from the stack and go to Q1. Now in Q1 also it will get B and A. So in Q1 with B comma A, this A is replaced with epsilon. So now again it will get third B with A. So this A third A is also deleted. And now in Q1 it will get capital B and Z0. With capital B and Z0, Z0 will remain Z0 and it will go to the final state. And after going to the final state, it is going to stop. Okay, so you will have to draw this transition diagram in the exam. Okay, and then you have to write down all the transitions. So third step is about the transition rules. So by looking at the diagram now you can write down the transition rules. There is no transition table here, but you have to write down all the transition rules. So this is the first transition rule, that in Q0 A comma Z0. So Q0 A comma Z0 is equal to Q0. The state is going to remain same. So Q0 and A is Z0. Okay, so write that first transition rule. Second transition rule is this. Q0 A comma A is equal to Q0 double A. Okay, so this transition is represented with the help of this equation. Then in Q0 B comma A. Q0 B comma A is equal to Q1. Now the state is transition is done and epsilon means it is a pop operation. Now in Q1 BA, Q1 B comma A is epsilon. So write down that. Then Q1 with BZ0. So B is indicated as epsilon here in the transition. So epsilon Z0 or capital B Z0 is equal to Q2 Z0. Anything you can write here, capital B or epsilon. So this is by going to the final step. But if you want to delete, then it will remain in the same state. That Q1 epsilon Z0 will be Q1 epsilon. Here I have to write down Q0. इस जगह पे Q1. So this is Q1 here. Here this is Q1. Okay, so this way you will be writing all the transition rules. That is the third step. Fourth step, this is by emptying, making the stack as empty, you halt. And then show the instantaneous description. So here you write down the instantaneous description as a fourth step. So here we are saying that this was the initial state, that Q0 double A double B and Z0. Then Q0 A double B and on the stack A Z0. Then Q0 double B on the stack 2 A's. Then Q0, now for this B, this A के लिए remove this. So for Q1 B A Z0, then Q1 B Z0, and then Q2 B Z0. So this way it is the at every instant what is going to happen, that is represented here with instantaneous description. Instantaneous description here. And then write down the final statement. So in the final statement, you just write down the values of every element or every tuple of your PDM. That is capital Q ka value. There are three states: Q0, Q1, Q2. Sigma will remain same, A comma B. Delta is as per the this all the equations. This rho is equal to AB, A comma B. On the stack, we are writing A comma B and epsilon. And then Q0 is Q0, Z0 is Z0, and capital F is equal to here Q2. For our problem, capital F is equal to Q2 and it is written in the set. Even if there is a single final state, don't forget to write it in terms of set. Okay, because it is a set of final states. We can have more than one final state. And you have to always write down this equation of your delta. Okay, that is very given a weightage. And this way you have to solve the problem, and there are 5 steps. Okay, so I think you have understood about the working, some idea about push-up machine, that how it works, but it will take time to understand it properly. So we are going to solve sufficient number of problems, and with one or two more problems, you should be able to understand and design this machine on your own. Okay, so by this I will stop for today's lecture. I have uploaded CFG ka tutorial on the classroom, Google Classroom. So solve it to understand